Hey, folks. This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce right here for the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast. Again, folks. Holy crap. When was the last time I had a live show? I don't know. Was it last week or something? I'm kind of wondering here. I don't know. I was wondering. The thing that I want to talk about today, I want to try to control my anger and my frustration and all that about what's going on. But so many things are going on. You can go to the WayneSPierceShow.weebly.com site. I haven't put a blog up for a while, an article up yet for I think a few weeks. But you can also go to the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page. There's just so much going on. I don't quite understand why people would argue over something or make comments on something that has nothing to do with an article I post. I'm just wondering. Just kind of curious. I'm just, it's my own internal mental exercises this morning. And it comes down to really the fact that I think that people who see these articles, and it's not that they want to argue with me, it's not that they want to, criticize me for anything, and I'm sure that's not even part of their thoughts. I think what it is that they want to express their opinion, and that's okay by me. That's fine. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I indifferent about what they say? It really doesn't. It really doesn't move the conversation any further if someone starts to criticize me. Once they start criticizing me for something I say or post, it's pretty much game over. Then the burden of proof of whatever they're talking about is on their end. I mean, I don't have to say a word at that point. I'll just back off and say, well, okay, that's your opinion. And if they don't present their view or their side of it, then what's the point of me even continuing the conversation? You know what I'm saying? What's the point of me or you or anybody else posting away in response to whatever it is I say or anyone says? So, but nobody that I see wants to give any information backing up anything that they say. They'll just make blanket statements, parroting the state-run media, parroting the liberal press, all of these people that are pro-government, pro-this, pro-amnesty. They'll just parrot everything they say, and then they'll post an article that really they'll say or imply that, see, I'm right and this is why. Well, what point do I have in response to that? Well, my point is showing the actual facts to whatever it is they're posting. For instance, anybody that parrots MSNBC, I can blow them away by digging into the background of the people that are saying anything on MSNBC and showing you just how much of an idiot those people really are. I can show facts. I can show evidence proving my side of it. Anyone that says anything different or criticizing me for any posts that I make, the burden of proof is on them, and therefore I just walk away. Why? I know where they're coming from. I know the tactics they use. Call it profiling if you like. I know people. I am very well versed in how people react to certain things. I'm also very well educated in how people want to respond to certain things, what tools they'll use in their arsenal against anyone who disagrees with them, and I'm talking specific hardcore leftist liberals. I know exactly what they're going to do from the time they wake up to the time they go to bed. That's a little piece of information I don't share with too many people, but I can definitely tell it's on record now that I know these people. I've lived with these people. I understand these people. These people are sociopaths from day one. The liberals that are, pretty much quote unquote middle of the road or more conservative or, less liberal or whatever, the ones that are in the middle, they're okay unless you get right down in their face and tell them that they're wrong. And then they, get all butthurt over things, and then they'll throw all kinds of stuff in your face. And, it's like basically run away and scream like a little girl and go hide go hide in the corner or something. Sorry. And they'll get up in your face when they have to defend their view because they are leftist liberals, or they have been so scorned by their leftist liberal partners or the people that they associate with that they've pulled themselves into the middle, and now they're there. So, and they'll try to set traps, in some way, shape, or form, to get you to see their way. And I understand that, and I know that, and it's right there in your face, and if nobody can see it, then, well, you just can't see it. But I know these people. I know the sociopathic idealisms, or shall I say sociopathic ideologies that these people follow. I know these principles. I know them from day one. But let me also say this. The right-wing, far-right radicals that we call Republicans, and those ilk, are the same exact way. There's no difference. There's absolutely no difference. And when somebody says that, they're more conservative than they are liberal, or if they're in the middle and they feel they're more conservative, no, they're being pulled by separatist ideologies on both sides. And that's where it all begins. And that's where people get confused. They're both on their far right, far left, platforms. They are nothing more than separatists. Period. Now you come down the scale more closer to the middle, you'll find rational, reasonable people that see this, and you'll start seeing these people, still catering to this Democratic, Republican, conservative, liberal philosophy and standing on those principles, but they seem to be more open to discussion and debate. Then you get into the middle or closer to the middle, and you'll see these people going, I have no idea, so I'm just going to vote my conscience. And those are the people who literally we need to reach, because if they vote their conscience and they vote the wrong way, how are you going to know it's wrong until after the elections, of course? But if they vote the wrong way, then who's screwed in that? Well, it's probably going to be you. But I know these people, and I know them very well. They are your moms, your dads, your brothers, your sisters, your aunts, your uncle. I mean, I know these people. They seem to be okay, and they seem to be, pretty much on point with all of what they make, but it is the far right, far left, radical, leftist, Marxist, just these incredibly sociopathic separatists that are out there. And they're pulling you from one way or another. Have you ever had a tug-of-war game? You've got your anchors in the back. These are the far left sociopathic, far right sociopathic people. You've got the people in the middle saying, we need to help pull it to our side. Those are the Democrat Republicans, solid in their platforms, blah, blah, blah. That's what they do. They're against the other person, but they're more or less going to sit down and discuss things with you because they're more rational. They need the help. So they have that. And then you have the two people, or the people in the middle by the little flag that's hanging there over the line, saying, where you want to go. Where you want to go. I'm helping, pull on this end. Where you want to go. That kind of thing. So to use that tug of war analogy, that's basically what we have today. And how can we, as rational, thoughtful, thinking people, how can we understand what side to be on? Well, it's really, really simple. And a lot of people want to complicate simplicity, but it's very, very simple to decide what you want to do. Look at the actions of these candidates. Look at what they do. Look at what they stand for. Look at what platform they're on. And if it agrees with you, then you go with that person or that party or whatever. If it doesn't agree with you, you don't go with that party or platform. It's that simple. You don't sit there and try to debate yourself in, well, that guy sounds good on this issue, but I disagree with him on this issue, but he's good right in the middle. No. 1 + 1 = 2. 1 - 1 = 0. It's that simple. You cannot go wrong with that type of simplicity. You watch what they do, you hear what they say. If you agree with it, okay. If you don't, okay. It's that simple. Don't sit there and say, well, that person's good here and this other person's good over here and that. No. People are looking for a composite of what is good in all of these candidates. And I use good in air quotes, underlined, using that word loosely. But people are looking for something, and if one candidate has all of it, then you go with that. Or if you disagree with him, you step away from that. It's that simple. There's no debate in that. There's no complication in that. People love to complicate simplicity, as I said. It's 1 + 1 = 2. And as we and this is just me, just from my perspective, just this is me. This is just me. No one else. Just look at me. Just me. When a person decides to go with one party, they are limiting themselves in a debate. Okay? That's all they're doing. They're not striving to get their point across. They've already stuck themselves into one ideology, one party, one way of thinking. And they're not going to step out of that for any reason whatsoever. That is something that I see. There are those who step outside and get chastised and are totally skewered by everybody else in their own party because, oh my God, you're not going with the party line. Oh my God, the world's coming to you. So I mean, there's that. But you have to remember that it's as simple as, do I agree with that person or do I not agree with that person? It's as simple as that. And that's it. I wanted to mention that because I wanted you to know where I stood on that regard. It's general, it's vague, some of it, but it's, we all tend to put ourselves out there and say, well, I believe this because it's this. Really? But have you considered that over there? Well, no, because I don't look at that. That's your problem. I mean, that basically is, in a general sense, that is how this whole geopolitical American politics is structured. It's like, don't look at what the right hand is doing, just look at what the left hand is doing. Don't look at what that candidate says, but look at what this candidate says. Have you seen in the past elections, because midterms are coming up, have you seen in the past elections, primary or general, how they ramp up negative campaigning? It's all about putting down the other guy. It's not about lifting up those that are doing right for the city, state, county, or government. You ever notice that? This is why every stinking 4 years, 2 years, whatever, I keep debating with myself, should I vote this year? By the way, I did vote this year for local nonpartisan candidates. Early voting. We have that here in Reno, Nevada. And I already did that. Now, I do want to say also on that regard that local voting is good, but here's something else. Nationally, not so much. Because local, you can get a lot of things done. And you can, engage in the process and input yourself into the process and make things happen locally. And that's how things get done, basically. We see this happening. But on a national level, and I'm going to go this far, on a state level, it ain't happening. You can vote as much as you want for whoever you want. They'll never get, I shouldn't say never, there is a possibility that the person that you voted for on the state level is not going to get into office. I could be wrong. This just happened in Virginia. Eric Cantor was thrown out on his ass, so somebody else, I think his last name is Bratt or something, Brott, I think. I mean, a Tea Party candidate got voted in into Virginia. So there is hope. There is hope, actually. So anyway, so basically my point is look at what's going on, examine your feelings, look at exactly everything that you can get. Ignore all the negative campaigning, because anyone who engages in negative campaign doesn't have much of a platform to stand on in the first place. So think about that one for a minute. Think about that one for a minute. You've got people with negative campaigns against other people, and those people have no leg to stand on and have no platform. Their platform is freaking Swiss cheese. So don't even listen to them and move on. So anyway, and even examine the people they're talking about. I mean, go from there. I mean, it's your responsibility. You're the one voting in the local elections, aren't you? I mean, unless you don't vote, then, you don't have a right to complain. That's what I keep hearing. But if you vote, if you vote, you don't have a right to complain because of the fact that, hey, you voted. If I didn't vote, I would have a right to complain because you voted for someone I don't like. So I mean, it goes both ways. It does. It goes both ways, and it is what it is. And we can just go from there and really make sure that we do the right thing at the end of the day. So there you go. I mean, that's how I feel about it anyway. Hey, I'm going to take a little break. This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast. The Wayne S. Pierce Show.weebly.com is the website. Check it out. You can email me, ask me any question you like. No question is off limits. If I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. FreeAmericaRadio@USA.com. FreeAmericaRadio@USA.com. Sharing the truth, one fact at a time. Listen to the views expressed live on the Free America Radio Network. Broadcasting live on wakingupthemasses.com and 1610 AM in the Chickamauga, Georgia area. Tune into the Views Express live Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on the Free America Radio Network. For more information, go to freeamericaradio.us.
Sharing the truth one fact at a time. This is the Free America Radio Network.
Hey folks, this is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce right here for the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast for the 11th of June 2014. I know I started getting into a rant at the beginning of the show, and I forgot to tell you what day it was. It's the 11th of June 2014. Yes, the Wayne S. Pierce Show.weebly.com site is where to go to listen to the show in the archives. Also, you can go to the Wayne S. Pierce Show on Facebook and leave a post if you like. Also, come check out the views expressed live today at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on Free America Radio Network. Also on wakingupthemasses.com and also on Spreaker and also on 1610 AM in the Chickamauga, Georgia area. The Views Express live. Yes. If you have, I just want to give a little shout out to Spreaker.com. If you have an idea for a show and only have 30 minutes that you want to give and you have a little time for yourself, you can do that. Go to Spreaker.com. Check out the plans. Scroll on down to the bottom of the screen there and you'll see plans, I believe is what it is, and check them out. Hey, there's a plan there that'll fit your budget. That's Spreaker.com. So, thank you very much. I want to give a shout out to Mr. Bob Brutus over at wakingupthemasses.com. He's the CEO and the guru over there of Waking Up the Masses Radio Network, and he's looking to expand. Yes, from what I understand. So any help that you can give him, please email him and ask. Go to wakingupthemasses.com. Email Mr. Bob Brutus over there and ask him how you can help expand Waking Up the Masses Radio Network. Thank you very much. Hey, what else do we got going on today? My God, this is the 11th of June, 2014. Seriously. What do we got going on? Let's go check it out, shall we? There's my God. But I don't know. There's a shooting in Oregon. There's a shooting in Las Vegas. There's a oh my God. I don't know what your feelings are on gun control. Mine is gun control. Yeah, both hands. That's just the way it is. That's my gun control. But I'd like to know. I'd like to share your thoughts on it. So email me, freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. I'm at Drudge Report, and there's a whole bunch of headlines there today. Free pass, talking about the immigrants at the Texas-Arizona borders just walking right over, an influx. And that basically is, since the bills that went through Congress for comprehensive immigration reform, which equals amnesty, since those didn't pass as the president wanted them to, and since he was shut down in every area of amnesty, it's now he is behind the scenes telling the people in charge of that, of Border Patrol and of immigration and all that, you know what? Just let him in. He said that last year, I think it was, or beginning of this year. He told the Border Patrol, just scare them and keep them from coming over. That was the first sign of a backdoor amnesty. So basically, it's just like, screw it, open the borders, let them come in. And he then, as they're here, he's going to say, hey, they're here already, so why not we just sign the amnesty bill and go from there? And that's what he's going to do. And he's basically violating all of your rights to do it. Judge Napolitano, Andrew Napolitano, said that the president could be facing up to 10 years in prison if he continues his bullcrap that he's doing now. Facing up to 10 years in prison. I've never seen in the history of the presidency of the presidencies of the United States having a judge say on national television that the president's looking at 10 years in prison. And I've never seen such a push for people to impeach this person, you know. So, I mean, Nixon, he was starting to get impeached, but then he resigned. He quit in his second term. And that was it. He goes, I'm out of here. You know, because he knew once he gets impeached and once the Senate and the House come together and say yes, and then he's got to go to trial, he would have been stuck in prison. You know, and this is what people are wanting for this president. Those butt in prison. He's nothing but a dictator. He's a Muslim. He has Marxist ideals, and he needs to go to prison. I mean, that's what people are saying. Do I agree with him? Yes. Not because he's black. Don't start, oh, God, he's racist. No. He's a criminal. Throw his ass in prison. Period. Done. It's just the way it is. Now, I don't always agree with everything that Rush Limbaugh says. I know the far right wing and the right wing of the Republican Party can't fart without getting permission from Rush Limbaugh. But Rush Limbaugh is right on this. And he says amnesty is not necessarily dead. And Rush said, this is what Rush Limbaugh says, don't you dare believe that immigration had anything to do with Eric Cantor losing. Don't you dare. The White House is telling the Republicans immigration had nothing to do with it. The Politico is telling the Republicans immigration had nothing to do with it. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings and welcome to you. This is Rush Limbaugh saying this. Don't dare say that immigration had anything to do with Eric Cantor losing his seat in Virginia. He lost it to a Tea Party person, okay? Rush Limbaugh also says, I can honestly say that I have never seen such a divide between the people who govern this country and the people who live in it. I have never seen Washington so distant and so removed and so unaware. It is stunning to me to listen to some of the commentary from inside the Beltway. Everybody has their take on what happened with the Eric Cantor and Dave Brat election last night. But I remind you, this is what Rush Limbaugh says. I went back and looked at some of the transcripts of me on this program in the past months in which I have been predicting a wave election. And Rush Limbaugh says, I have been predicting that inside the Beltway people have no clue what the people of this country are really thinking, that they have no clue how irritated people are. They have no idea how angry, and they don't care on the top of that, even if they were aware. But Washington has less and less about it that relates to normal life in this country than I've ever seen. This is what Rush Limbaugh has said. And the commentary in the aftermath of this election last night is evidence of it, and I'll share more of that with you as the program unfolds. If you have any questions whatsoever, for Mr. Rush Limbaugh, you can email him at lrushbo@eibnet.com. Like I said, I don't always agree, but I agree there. It's not Eric Cantor didn't lose because of immigration. He lost because the Tea Party member was a hell of a lot better than he was. Okay, and the people in Washington, D.C. have absolutely no idea about what is outside their little 10 square mile area of delusion, okay? And the people in the Beltway have absolutely no idea what goes on outside of their little cookie-cutter world that they've, created for themselves. They have no clue. They have no clue, will have no clue, and are at the very precipice of collapse because they have no clue. Okay? Now, let me ask, and I'm going to put it this way, and I'll be coming up on a break here pretty quickly. Let me ask you a question here. I have an analogy, a metaphor. Well, an analogy. Let's put it that way. Let's give you a hypothetical situation, shall I? Here's this hypothetical. You into hypotheticals? I am. I'm into metaphors and analogies and all that. So here's this hypothetical. You're in a room. The room consists of pictures and desks and, just really nice looking, just a room. A couple of windows. You look outside, you see trees, birds, grass, all that. Two people come into the room. You're in the room. You're sitting there. You're reading a book. You're there. You're sitting there, right? You're just reading. You're sitting there. And these two people walk into the room. And they're discussing their personal political ideologies. Okay? One is a Republican and one is a Democrat. And in this room, you're sitting there, you're reading, you're just doing whatever it is you're doing in this room. You're reading, you're writing, whatever. And all of a sudden, the conversation between these two, the Democrat and Republican, gets a little heated. And the Democrat says, I'm right and you're wrong. And the Republican says, no, I'm right and you're wrong. And they go down the issues of what they believe, what their platform is, what their ideologies are of their parties. They go through the whole litany of things. You're sitting in this room watching this as a spectator. My question to you is, who do you believe? But more importantly, you have to realize that all three of you in that room are human beings and can at some point cut out all the BS, cut out all the ideologies, cut out all of the platforms, cut out all of that, and realize that you're human beings, that you're adults, that you can at least get along and agree on something has to be done. Okay? It's not so much the end result that matters, because it's the method by which you get there that matters. And if you don't do it in an efficient, effective manner, the outcome that all three of you wish will never benefit all three of you. So somebody in there is a little narcissistic and a little selfish. So think about that one. Now, some people would say, and I have had this thought immediately thinking about this and saying this, and that is, well, you're in that room, these two people walk in, begin to argue. Your next step would be to yell as loud as you could and shoo them out of the room so you can have some peace. But here's the outcome to that. Whatever they vote on, whatever they decide to do, you in your little room will be affected by their decisions. with you in the process of trying to help them make the right decision, the outcome is going to benefit all three of you. But if you just shoo them away and throw them out the room and close the door and lock the door, whatever decision those two make will affect you in that room. So think about that one next time you go to the polling places and go to the voting booths. Because all in all, you've got to understand that whatever you do affects other people and will in turn at some point affect you in some way. So if you don't engage yourself in these things and begin to ask questions and begin to try to find some semblance of cooperation, then you three in that room are not going to benefit from any decision that is made by you three. And one of you, if not two of you in that room, are going to be negatively impacted by a decision that somebody else makes or two other people make. Because you know that one of those two people is going to make a decision, it's going to leave that other person out, and it's going to affect you in the process. And you had you didn't engage in that debate at some point. So no matter what, your voice in this political process is vitally important. And of course, the Democrats and Republicans and independents and nonpartisan folks who are running for office will hear you. The libertarians, all of those, they'll hear you, but what will they do? Well, that is where you have to get engaged in helping them make the right decision for all of you, because only one decision is going to benefit some of you. And if the decision is made by only one person, the outcome is not going to be so effective or efficient, is it? So think about that one. It's incredibly important that we engage ourselves in the political process somehow. Writing letters does help. Some people I have heard, in the offices of these political people in office, like the secretaries and such, they say, well, most of the time all those letters go right in the trash. But that is where you have to rally the troops, in a way, and go to the mayor's office, go to the governor's mansion, go to the state capitol, and rally around and get your voices heard. Scream louder than they do. And to borrow something from Susan Powder, stop the insanity. Because basically, if one person is making the decision, it's not going to have such a positive effect on the rest of the people in that area. So you got to think about that one as well. But anyway, I wanted to get that out there because it's very, very important. And I'm not shying away from that at all. Get involved in the political process. Your city, state, county, and government depend on you to be engaged in the political process. Not just go to the polls and vote and all that. No. You need to be out in the street every day if you can. So there you go. I mean that. Hey, I'm going to take a little break. We'll come back and we'll close out this podcast. And there will not be a live show today. The Wayne S. Pierce Show is taking a little hiatus. And we're gonna engage in conversation on the views expressed live today at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on Free America Radio Network on Spreaker.com, freeamericaradio.us, and wakingupthemasses.com, and 1610 a.m. in the Chickamauga, Georgia area. Free America Radio at USA.com.
Listen to Angel Clark Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Radio Freedom News Network. RadioFreedom.us.
Listen to the Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show, Friday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, right here on Spreaker.com. Cutting through the pablum of propaganda, slicing through the sensationalism of salaciousness and the very fabric of fakeness. Spencer Hughes breaks down the news with views you can use from a personal perspective. The Spencer Hughes Show on Spreaker.com and SpencerHughes.net. Listen to Kicking the Capstone with Bob Brutus immediately following the views expressed live.
Putting the local back into radio.
Sharing the truth one fact at a time. This is the Free America Radio Network.
Hey, folks, welcome back. This is the Views, not the Views Express. That's on later today at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on Free America Radio Network at freeamericaradio.us. This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show, and I'm your host, Wayne S. Pierce, for the 11th of June, 2014. How you doing? The last segment of the show, I know, I get so confused. I have so many shows. Come join me, though, on the Views Expressed live today. freeamericaradio.us, wakingupthemasses.com, and 1610 a.m. in the Chickamauga, Georgia area. Yes, so many things to talk about that, my God, where do we begin? But at the end of the show, really? Come on. What can I say? Hey, I want to give a little plug for Eastland Radio Repertory Theater. It's on Spreaker.com. It's, old-type radio plays. By the way, I write scripts, and I'm an actor, and I do voiceover work, so if you want to hire me, hey, just contact me. I do a lot of stuff. I'm also looking for voice actors that just want to hone their abilities, just want to do something fun and enjoy what they do and kind of, volunteer their talent, to putting stuff together. So if you, I have a script for an ongoing radio play that I'm doing that I'm working on and developing. So if you have any questions whatsoever or send your audio clips, please do to Eastland Radio Theater at USA.com, okay? Eastland Radio Theater at USA.com. And, so check it out. I mean, if you like doing that kind of stuff, I'm looking for you. So that would be Eastland Radio Repertory Theater, and email me at eastlandradiotheater@usa.com. So there you go. So anyway, just wanted to put that out there because it's important. So with the influx of illegal aliens coming into the country from Texas and Arizona, here's what the Homeland Security Chief says. Homeland Security Chief Jay Johnson admits to need more border reform. Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson it goes on to say this. Stephen Dinan over at Washington Times wrote this. Thank you, Stephen, and Washington Times. Both in public and in private meetings, new Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson readily acknowledges there is a border problem that needs fixing, a major departure from his predecessor, Janet Napolitano, whose consistent refrain was that the border was more secure than it had ever been. Mr. Johnson, by contrast, has shied away from using Ms. Napolitano's catchphrase, stressing to Congress that more resources are still needed to get the border in shape. And in private meeting last month with those who want to see stricter enforcement, Mr. Johnson explicitly acknowledged the issues and asked for solutions. Quote, there was a clear difference. When we met with him, he acknowledged right off the bat that he was well aware there was a problem on the southern border. There was not even a debate about that, unquote, said Rosemary Jenks, government relations manager for Numbers USA. Mr. Johnson, who will appear before the Senate Committee on the Judiciary on Wednesday, to field questions from lawmakers, has been on the job for nearly 6 months, and in that time he has built a reputation for soliciting opinions from all sides, including from Ms. Jenks and other groups that fiercely oppose the administration's enforcement approach. He also held town hall meetings with immigration agents and has made several trips to the country's borders to see the situation for himself. His most recent trip came a month ago when he went to McAllen, Texas, to get a look at the thorniest problem of his young tenure, the surge of unaccompanied minors jumping the border to try to gain a foothold in the U.S. Stunned by what he saw, Mr. Johnson has treated it as a all-hands-on-deck situation, tapping his emergency management director as the coordinator between the Border Patrol and the social workers who take custody of the children and scrambling to find space on military bases to house the children while they are awaiting processing. But, like Mr. Obama and the broader issue of immigration, Mr. Johnson is drawing fire from both sides of the debate. Immigrant rights activists say his agents aren't moving quickly enough to transfer custody of children to social workers, breaking a federal law that only lets Homeland Security agents hold the children 72 hours. Crackdown supporters, meanwhile, say the Department of Homeland Security has helped encourage the spike in children trying to cross the border by announcing unilateral halts to deportation of some illegal immigrants, a magnet, the group says, that's drawing even more immigrants to try to cross the border. Quote, Secretary Johnson did state clearly he knows he has a problem on the border, but so far I have not seen him make any serious attempt to address the border issues, said Julie Kirchner, Executive Director of the Federation of American Immigration Reform. That would be FAIR. Quote, quite frankly, it seems like most of the time he's spent has been reviewing our deportation practices. That seems to be where he's putting his time, and he's doing that at the request of the president, unquote. Now, wait a minute. This person is, I'm going to interject this right now. That person is clearly not understanding what's going on. The president wants open borders, period. He'll say that there's a problem on the border, but he's trying to quell it. And he'll say whatever he wants in the state-run media. Mr. Johnson is saying, we have a problem that has to be solved. Kind of a contradiction there, don't you think? You know, a little headbutting going on in Washington, right? So this person from FAIR has, Julie Kirchner, has no idea what the hell's going on. Mr. Johnson, continuing, Mr. Johnson is confirmed to be the new secretary on December 16th, easily winning in a 78-16 confirmation vote. His major government experience before taking the helm of Homeland Security was as a Pentagon's top lawyer, and his experience with immigration was limited, but he's been on a crash course to get up to speed, and that's been welcomed by both sides. In other words, remember that tug of war I talked about? There you go. See it our way. See it our way. No, see it our way over here. No, look over here. Hey, look, yes, I know I have an illegal immigrant in my left hand, but look at my right hand. Don't pay attention to the left hand. This is exactly what's happening in Washington, D.C. in regards to this immigration reform. And immigration activists are saying open the damn borders and let everybody in. The opponents to that are saying close the damn borders and keep everybody out. So there's that tug of war, folks, right there. Is it ever going to get solved? I'm going to say this, and I hope it never comes to this. Not without something severe happening, big enough to get both sides to open their damn eyes. I'm just saying, okay? And, quote, I think he came in the eye with eyes wide open. One of the really refreshing things that has been he didn't pretend to know more than anybody else. In fact, he came in very humbly, saying in some of the meetings he was in that many of us had far more expertise than he did in these immigration and border-related issues, unquote, says Marshall Fitz, Director of Immigration Policy for the Center of American Progress. Ooh, that's a lefty side of the thing. Who was part of another early May meeting Mr. Johnson held with immigration rights activists. Indeed, early in his tenure, Mr. Johnson has earned a reputation of willingness to meet with anyone on Capitol Hill and for inviting in stakeholders in immigration debate. And, of course, you can click on the story continues to read the rest of that, which goes to WashingtonTimes.com. The fact that we... The fact that we are talking about immigration reform should be a big giant red flag. Am I against immigration? No, I'm not. I'm against illegal immigration. Let me state that right now and put it on the record again. I am against illegal immigration. I am pro and for closing the border until we get everything tightened up and out there and straightened out and get everybody on a level playing field. Then address the immigration reform again. Close the border, do everything we can to get everything fixed at this point, and then we'll talk about it. It's that simple. How can anybody in their right mind not say that's a good thing to do? John McCain doesn't. John McCain, Republican of Arizona, says open the damn border. You know, bring him in, and then we'll figure it out, and then we'll close the border. No. You don't want to do that. Okay? They want more people to play tug of war with them is what they want. The Democrats want the border open to be on their side to pull their rope that way. The Republicans, same way, to pull their rope that way. Same thing. So it doesn't matter. Close the damn border. Close it. Put 100,000 military troops on that border, and you tell Mexico, you keep them over there or we'll send them back in a body bag. It's illegal to cross the border, period. End of sentence. Well, who said that? Well, why can't we live together? Why can't we do... No. Close the border. Fix the situation in America with all the ones that are here. And if you got to send them back to Mexico, then do that. But fix the problem. The only way to do that is to cut off the flow. Folks, if you've got a leaky faucet in your kitchen and you turn it on and the water shoots straight up in the air to the ceiling, you got a problem and you have to shut the flow off. Then you fix the pipes. Then you make sure that it's working. And then you can turn the water back on and everything's okay. Is it not? So close the damn border. Period. I'm passionate about fixing America and restoring the republic to the once great nation that we were. But we have to close the damn southern border, period. Yes, I said it, 100,000 military troops on the border. Mexico ain't going to like it, but I don't give a crap what Mexico wants. They're going to have to understand that we're $18 trillion in debt. What part of we're broke don't they understand? But see, there's a larger picture. There's a larger picture, and that larger picture says Mexico's a socialist country with drug cartels running everything and using their president as a puppet. Canada, the same way. The Queen runs the Prime Minister. So the only way that everything is going to be quote-unquote equal is to turn the United States into a socialist country and everybody's happy. Screw that. To all you immigrant activists out there, pro-immigrant activists that want open borders, F you. You ain't getting it. You don't understand it. You're dumb as a box of rocks. Go stick your head back in the sand where it belongs. Close the damn border, fix the problem that we have in America. Then in about 10, 15, 20, 25 years, maybe we can start talking about legal immigration. Legal immigration, okay? And that's not just from Mexico. That's from everywhere. Close the damn border for everybody. Shut down all the consulates and tell everybody, look, you ain't coming to America. I'm sorry. We got to fix our problems here. That's just the way it is. When we get them fixed, then we'll talk to you. But other than that, stay home and fix your own damn problems. And we're not sending the military over there to fix your problems for you. You got to do it yourself. That's just the way it is. So there you go. That's my stance on it. Close the damn border and fix America. Restore it. Let's do that, and then we'll talk about legal immigration. That's a hot button issue, isn't it? Immigration. Immigration, abortion, same-sex marriage, vaccines, all of that is all hot button issues. But you know where all that came from? Do you know where all the propaganda for that came from? Can you say the Democratic Party? And can you say that the Republican Party just stands by with their finger up their nose going, yeah, whatever seems right to you, we'll work on that, yeah. I mean, that's, I am so glad I'm nonpartisan, man. I'm not independent, even though they have some good ideals, ideologies, a good platform. I'm not libertarian, even though they have some really good ideas. I'm nonpartisan. The Democratic and Republican parties have to go in the toilet and get flushed. That's all there is to it, period. We don't need parties here in the United States anyway. We have Americans. We have United States citizens that can probably run Washington, D.C. a hell of a lot better than the corporations are doing right now. So there you go. I would have just let the car companies fail, the banks fail, the post office fail. Let's just, let the states take care of their own. How about that? Is that a novel idea? Oh my God, that's going to send people through the roof. I know it. I'm going to get criticized for that. Somebody's going to download this show and go, look, he's anti-American. No, you're a dumbass, okay? I'm pro-American. Give me the Constitution and the Bill of Rights prior to 1871 before the corporations took over. That's where I stand right there. Period. End of sentence. Don't like it? Get the hell out of my country. You want a fascist, Marxist, liberal, dictatorial country? Hey, there's a lot of countries around the world that fit your ideology perfectly, and two of them I can think of right now, Canada and Russia. Bye! Don't let the border hit you on the ass on the way out. I just get sick and tired of people telling me, well, we got to open the borders because those people really need help. No, those people need to fight for their own independence in their countries. I don't care where they come from. Doesn't have to be Mexico. Mexico's pretty screwed and collapsed anyway, so it doesn't really matter. People need to get up and stand up and start getting involved in their country, and that's just the way it is. I don't care if it's Iran, Iraq, Russia, China, whatever. People just need to understand that freedom and liberty and peace create a better future for people. But if you can't understand that, maybe, just maybe, you need to get educated. Anyway. Hey, come join me on the Views Express Live today. I probably won't be so... maybe, I don't know. Come check it out. The Views Expressed, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on Free America Radio Network on Spreaker.com, freeamericaradio.us, wakingupthemasses.com, and broadcasting live on 1610 a.m. in the Chickamauga, Georgia area. Got a question I got to answer? Email me, freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. Have a great day.